We have just received stunning news coming directly from the federal courthouse in New York. Actor Brad Pitt made a surprise appearance, tightly holding a metal box. Insider sources claim that it contains explosive evidence that could completely upend the Sean Diddy Combs case. As for Leonardo DiCaprio, his whereabouts remain a mystery. This is no longer just a simple criminal trial. Warning, this content is not intended for the faint of heart. What follows is the written testimony and evidence presented by Brad Pitt before the federal court, documented on the 18th day of the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Some details may leave you stunned, shaken, or questioning whether they're even real. What evidence did Brad Pitt present that sent Diddy into a frenzy, lashing out at his own lawyer, while Leonardo DiCaprio's fate remained shrouded in uncertainty? This wasn't a glamorous Hollywood premiere. Instead, Brad Pitt walked into a high-security federal courtroom, sending shockwaves through the Tinseltown media. No bodyguards, no entourage, just a steely gaze and hands gripping a reinforced metal box. A safe containing secrets powerful enough to dismantle the shadowy empire Diddy has quietly built over 3 decades. I didn't come here to negotiate. I'm here to bury his twisted empire and save my friend before it's too late. What's in that suitcase? A chilling audio recording from the basement where Leo is supposedly being held captive? A video capturing a fleeting moment of debauchery among the elite? Or maybe a list of names, victims of silence whom the public still worships as legends? The mysterious disappearance of Leonardo DiCaprio has triggered the darkest nightmare of Diddy's life. But what the mogul never saw coming was this: the man bold enough to expose him is none other than Brad Pitt, Leo's former friend and once a fellow Hollywood titan. Somehow, Pitt went from being a bystander to the only soul brave, or reckless, enough to open this Pandora's box. This is no longer just a legal battle. It's a brutal showdown between light and shadow, between those who keep the secrets and the one who dares to uncover the truth. Welcome to the most perilous trial in Hollywood history. And it all starts with this suitcase. We're standing just outside the courthouse, where chaos reigns supreme. Brad Pitt showed up less than 10 minutes ago, silent, but with a look of unwavering determination on his face. The steel suitcase was carefully handed over to security staff. According to inside sources, this is the key to taking down Diddy. Eyewitnesses say that Diddy completely lost his cool, even lashing out at his own lawyer. This is no longer just a trial. It's a secret battlefield for the elite. Early this morning, the New York courtroom was filled with suffocating tension. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs, accused of human trafficking, extortion, and sexual abuse, has entered its exhausting 4th week. Witnesses, former assistants, and close confidants have painted a chilling picture of a criminal empire shrouded in glory and influence. Yet even the most seasoned journalists could not have anticipated the pivotal moment that happened today. The courtroom doors opened, and Brad Pitt, his face marked by solemn determination, walked in. The crowd fell silent, their stunned eyes fixed on him. This wasn't the first time Brad Pitt's name had come up during the trial. Diddy's former assistant, Mia, had previously testified that she saw Diddy assault Cassie Ventura at the premiere of Pitt's film, Killing James Bradley, in 2012. But today, Brad Pitt wasn't just a name mentioned in passing, he was here to testify. "I'm not here for myself," Brad declared, his voice low but full of conviction as he stood at the witness stand. "I'm here for my friend Leonardo DiCaprio, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances more than a month ago. I'm here to reveal the truth about Sean Combs and to protect the innocent lives he has destroyed. I won't rest until justice is served and Leo is brought back safe and sound." The courtroom erupted in whispers of disbelief. Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the biggest stars on the planet, had vanished. And Diddy, already entangled in a web of heinous accusations, was now connected to this disappearance. Questions raced through everyone's minds. But Brad Pitt, with a steely and unflinching gaze, began to unravel a story that sent chills through the courtroom. Over a month ago, Leonardo DiCaprio vanished without a trace. No texts, no calls, no clues. His family, his friends, and Brad Pitt, his confidant for over 20 years, were thrown into a panic. Leo isn't the type to disappear without a word. Brad testified. He's meticulous. He always has a plan. When he didn't show up to our annual meeting in Malibu, I knew something was wrong. Accompanied by Leo's mother, Ermeline, and his sister, Brad followed every possible lead. They searched his apartment in New York, his villa in Los Angeles, and even his secluded retreat in France. Nothing. His phone was turned off, his social media accounts were silent. The police, despite opening an investigation, only gave vague answers. Hope was beginning to fade until one fateful night. An anonymous package appeared on the doorstep of Brad's property in Hollywood Hills. No sender's name, just a USB drive inside. With a heavy heart, Brad plugged it into his computer. The screen lit up, revealing a grainy, low-quality video, probably recorded by an old security camera. Leonardo DiCaprio appeared in it, tied to a metal chair. His face was battered, his lips bloody, his clothes in tatters. He was in a dark, filthy room that looked like an abandoned basement. A distorted voice broke through, "Prepare $10 million in cash. 48 hours. If you contact the police, he dies." The video ended with Leo struggling to lift his head, his eyes desperate, but still showing a faint glimmer of hope. Despite the threat, Brad's first instinct was to call the police. But at that moment, his phone rang. An unknown number. Unlike usual, a gut feeling made him pick up. On the other end, Leo's voice was weak but urgent. "Brad, I don't have much time left. They have no intention of sparing us, neither me nor my family. They're planning a purge. Anyone who knows anything will be silenced. Protect my mother and my sister. And listen, I have proof of all of Diddy's crimes. It's in my old house in Topanga Canyon, and a steel box in the basement. Be careful, Brad. Diddy and his accomplices are cunning. If you're not careful, they'll come after you too." The call was abruptly cut off. Without hesitation, Brad took Leo's mother and sister to Los Angeles. He turned his mansion into a fortified safe haven. Then, under the cover of night, he drove to Leo's old house in Topanga Canyon, a secluded retreat in the woods where Leo used to escape the Hollywood spotlight. In the damp, dark basement, Brad discovered a concealed electrical cabinet. Inside, there was a steel case, sealed with a fingerprint lock. Luckily, Leo had once given him the code during a drunken night, just in case. When Brad opened the case, what he saw horrified him. He vomited on the spot, his hands shaking. "I've acted in dozens of thrillers," Brad declared in court. "But nothing prepares you for a truth this horrific." Brad then confessed a heartbreaking mistake in front of the judges. After receiving the video and Leo's call, he had actually gone to the police. That very evening, an officer pretending to be him contacted him, asking him to place the USB drive in a mailbox near a park, supposedly for his protection. The caller warned him that Diddy absolutely must not be exposed publicly, or else his faction would retaliate immediately. Panicked and influenced by the authoritative tone of the caller, Brad obeyed. A month later, he learned that Leo's case had come to a standstill. "I realized I had been deceived," Brad said, his eyes filled with tears. "That person might have been one of Diddy's agents. Fortunately, Leo told me to back everything up. I kept a copy in a safe behind my fireplace. Today, I brought it here so that justice can be served." Brad stood before the court, his voice trembling but determined, as the prosecutor asked him to describe the contents of the steel box. He handed the prosecution a backup hard drive, a meticulously preserved copy kept in a safe hidden behind his fireplace. As the files were projected onto the courtroom screen, a deathly silence fell over the room. The evidence, collected by Leonardo DiCaprio during his years spent in Diddy's orbit, revealed a criminal network far beyond even the darkest imagination. The first file contained an audio recording of a secret meeting and footage captured by a hidden camera. The recording, 12 minutes long, had been made in 2020 at Diddy's private villa in the Cayman Islands. Diddy's voice, cold and composed, spoke of an upcoming purge with three influential figures: the CEO of a major media conglomerate, a high-ranking politician, and an international gang leader. "If you want this empire to survive, those who talk won't survive," he said. "I've already dealt with three others, including that actor. You know who I'm talking about." He was referring to a Hollywood star whose mysterious death in a plane crash in 2018, according to persistent rumors, allegedly involved Diddy himself. The audio was accompanied by footage from a camera installed by Leo. In it, Diddy could be seen holding a handwritten list, reading aloud the names of 12 people, including Leonardo DiCaprio, who were labeled as top targets. A chilling moment froze the room. Diddy ordered a henchman to silence those who had seen things they shouldn't have. His sinister smile, as he spoke about the need to teach Hollywood a lesson, sent shivers through the jury. Two more videos followed, then Leonardo DiCaprio's personal journal. One of them, filmed with his phone during a secret party in a Parisian wine cellar in 2021, showed Diddy presiding over a strange ceremony called the Ceremony of Sacrifice. A young woman tied to a stone table was surrounded by scarlet candles. Diddy, dressed in black, recited the sacred text he had written himself, proclaiming the young woman as an offering for the immortality of the empire. Next to this video, Leo's journal, found in the steel box, detailed his emotions: guilt, fear, shame. An entry dated 2020 read, "I tried to distance myself from Diddy, but he knows too much. He has pictures of me at one of his parties. He said that if I talked, he would come after my mother and my sister. I gathered this evidence to atone for my mistakes, but I don't know if I'll live long enough to bring it all to light." The third file, called Project Babylon, contained classified documents about a global human trafficking network orchestrated by Diddy since 2005. Stored on an encrypted hard drive spanning 200 pages, this file exposed the inner workings of a complex system: slave contracts, fraudulent agreements promising young women from Eastern Europe, Africa, and South America careers as models or singers, only for them to be trapped and abused at Diddy's infamous frick-off parties. A chart revealed more than 100 victims transported by private jet to 12 secret locations around the world. A map showed safe houses located in the Caribbean, Dubai, and Southeast Asia, where the victims were held. A handwritten note from Diddy described the process of psychologically breaking these women through drugs and threats against their families. Other documents showed transactions with influential figures, properties, money, yachts used to buy their silence. A satellite image showed Diddy's private island and an area called the Glass Cage, a facility resembling a prison. One line from the document sent chills through the room: "After use, take them to the oven. Leave no trace." Each new revelation drew gasps. Some jurors looked away. Diddy's daughter, who was present in the gallery, broke down in tears and left the room. Diddy, sitting at the defendant's table, kept his head down. His eyes burned with rage. When asked how he had obtained his evidence, Brad explained, "Leonardo collected it over the years. I was close to Diddy, but I saw through him. I knew I would become a target. Leo kept everything. He guided me to her during his last call." He added in a trembling voice, "Leo has been missing for over a month. I think he found a moment, when his captors weren't watching, to contact me. He begged me to protect his family and to bring the truth to light." His testimony lasted for hours, but the most moving moment was when he addressed the judge directly. "Your Honor, I'm not here just to accuse Diddy. I'm here to ask for help. Leo is out there somewhere. maybe imprisoned, maybe being tortured. He risked everything, and not just for himself, but for dozens, maybe even hundreds of other victims. I don't know if he's still alive, but I know he wouldn't want me to stay silent. Please, save Leo. The courtroom fell silent. Some jurors wiped away their tears. The judge, his face serious, nodded and promised an urgent investigation. The prosecutor then presented the recorded testimony of Adam Sandler, another victim of Diddy. Sandler described how Diddy had manipulated him psychologically, forced him into humiliating situations, and threatened him with secretly recorded videos. Diddy made me feel like I belonged to him, he said. He traps you, makes you believe you owe him everything, like there's no way out. He also provided security footage from Diddy's cloud, showing him ordering his men to deal with an uncooperative individual. These elements, combined with Brad's evidence, painted a picture of a sprawling and sophisticated criminal network. Diddy's legal team, led by attorney Mark Agnifilo, tried to discredit Brad, arguing that the evidence might have been fabricated or even staged. Mr. Pitt is an actor, an icon, capable of convincing people even without telling the truth. Who can say for sure that this isn't just a well-orchestrated performance? He questioned Brad's motives. Why would such a famous and accomplished man take such a risk? Is he seeking attention? Is he part of a conspiracy? The argument sowed some temporary doubt, but prosecutor Marin Comey countered with expert analyses confirming the authenticity of the documents, videos, and recordings. These pieces of evidence didn't just concern Leo, who was presumed murdered, but also revealed decades of abuse, money laundering, intimidation, manipulation, and exploitation. Diddy may have built his empire not on talent, but on fear and control. Throughout the entire trial, Diddy remained motionless, almost like a statue. But when the recording of his conversation with his mother was played, some observers saw a flicker of panic cross his eyes. He gripped the railing so tightly that his knuckles turned white and whispered something to his lawyer. These were the first visible cracks in the smooth facade he had spent years building.